Hey guys, so today I wanted to do something a little bit different, something that I haven't done before, but something that I have been wanting to do not only for you guys, but for myself. And I don't even know why I've got the black screen and I'm making it like it's some big deal. You know what the video is about because obviously you clicked on it and you saw the title, so I don't know why I'm doing that, but anyway. Yes, I want to do a Carnival Cruise review. So back in 2017, around November, I want to say the 25th, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was it. I went on a cruise on the Carnival Ecstasy, which is the ship that you are seeing right now, in the picture. And then also in that other little picture in the bottom right corner, that is a picture that I took while on the cruise. I'm going to be giving my review of that cruise that I took. It was a 5-day trip to the Bahamas, and we stopped in 2 ports, one island in the Bahamas, Nassau and Freeport. I believe that's how you say it, Nassau. I never learned how to say the name of that island, and I was there, and I saw all the people who were talking about it, and I heard every word that they said, but I never learned how to say the name of that island. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and give a review of it because I really think I will be planning on doing another cruise. I don't know when it's gonna be. It could be 10 years from now, but I do think I want to do another cruise, and so I thought it would be a good idea if I went ahead and did a review so that, like I said, I could have this to look back on, but I could also use it to help you guys out with anything that you might need help with, because I searched a lot of videos before I went on the trip. Not enough, obviously, but I searched quite a few and got some tips and some tricks and some things that I found out about and some things that I didn't know about before going on the cruise that I wish I would have known. That's kind of what I want to do. I want to tell you guys all about my cruise, give you all of the different ins and outs of the different things that had happened on the cruise, and kind of just for those who are first time cruisers who have never cruised before, or if you've just never cruised on Carnival, this is basically what I'm going to be reviewing. And I actually have some points that we're going to be going through as well. Not in this video. We're going to be going through these bullet points separately. They're all each going to be different. Today, obviously, we're going to be talking about the price. You saw the title, so you know what we're talking about. But I've tried to record this series. I guess we're going to call it a series now. I've tried to record it probably about 3 or 4 times. And each time that I've done it, it turned out terrible because I had my phone either going off, or I've had some kind of interruption, or the video ended up being way too long, because let's face it, if you watch my videos, I tend to talk, sometimes go on a little bit longer than I should. So I did talk a lot longer about certain points versus others, and the video ended up being over an hour and 20 minutes long, and I was just like, no, I'm not going to do that, okay? We're going to separate them so that they're not that long, and you don't have to sit through that long of a video. And if you're only wanting some tips or some of my reviews over certain things, like if you only wanted to know about the food, or you only wanted to know about the experience or the price or something, then you could just watch that video without having to watch this whole entire thing. And I make it to a big hour-long, whole 9 yards deal. I wanted to separate them, and I thought it would be easier if I did it that way. So we're going to be talking about the price in this one. And the next one we will talk about, of course, staterooms. Then we'll talk about the food, the excursions, the entertainment, and lastly we will talk about my overall experience that I had with Carnival Cruise Lines and just with the cruise itself. And also, little side note here. See, I said there was a lot of interruptions and things that happened when I was trying to record this series, which I don't understand why, but happened. So there is construction going on outside. I don't know if you can hear it. Hopefully you can't, but if you hear something in the background, that's what it is. Either that or it's my cat meowing because she's scared of the construction and she could start meowing. Hopefully she'll just kind of go back to sleep, but she's not used to construction going on. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into this thing because like I said, I've already went on a little bit too long when I should have continued on. Let's go ahead and start. Okay, so the first thing that we're obviously going to talk about, in my opinion, is the most important thing that you need to know before going on a cruise, and that is, how much is it going to cost? Because you might go on a website for Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Princess, Disney, Norwegian, whoever you look for a cruise through, and you might see that final price there, and you might think, okay, based on that price, that's pretty high, or that's pretty low. Well, there's a lot of factors that go into that little price there. That's not your final price, alright? Just so you're aware, that's not the final price of the cruise. That is just the price of what I'm assuming, okay? Don't quote me on this, but from the only cruise that I took, which was a 5-day cruise to the Bahamas, obviously it's going to vary based on the amount of days that you go and different other factors. Those will count into how your price is going to vary and change. But based on my cruise, it was the price of the room that we stayed in is what it covered, as well as the ship, I'm guessing, because there's certain things that you will do on the ship that don't cost anything, and that's what goes into that price there. And then also your food. Now I'm going to go into all of these pretty much separately when we get down to those little bullet points, but basically it's all into the price, okay? So it all goes into price, but I will talk about those separately in their own sections. But your food, your ship, your room, your workers, basically the workers that are on the ship, or the people that clean your room and stuff like that, although they tend to have separate types of payment things, so I'm not sure if that goes into the overall price. You'll kind of see a little bit of what I mean here in a second, because we are going to compare some prices of my Carnival cruise to some other cruise lines and just see how the prices vary. So since there is more that goes into the price than just the cruise itself, I thought we would go ahead and actually take a look at some of the things that can really raise the price. Okay, so you're going to see a price for a cruise and you're going to think that's all you're going to pay, but that is not true. Okay, they're going to give you this little card. Well, I know with Carnival they do. I don't know how any other cruise ship does it, but with Carnival, once you get on the ship, they're going to give you this little card. And on Carnival, I believe it's called your sail and sign card, and that is basically your money. Okay, they're not going to take your cash. They're not going to take your credit cards. Your credit card is on the sail and sign card. So anytime they swipe your sail and sign card, just know that it's probably going to cost you. That's what I kind of looked for whenever we were on our cruise, was when they would swipe my card, I knew that it cost something. Okay, so that was kind of where I was looking and thinking about things a little bit more clearly, because that price that I saw at the beginning wasn't exactly the price once it got down to it. And so let's go ahead now. I have my display capture thing here. You can take off this video here and put this up here, and I can show you guys Carnival's website and what they have to offer and how it can really factor into your price. So I went to see some of the onboard activities first. We'll go through a couple of things and show you, but you can go down and see all the onboard activities, different things that you can do. They give me a few examples here, and you can click on any of these things and find out what it's about. But when you click on it, you're gonna want to look for one thing, and that's this right here. Okay, this cost additional with the little blue dollar sign. Okay, that means that it's going to cost you more than just the price of the cruise. So this is for IMAX Theater. So let's say that you're on the cruise ship and you want to go see a movie at IMAX Theater, go ahead. But however much that movie is, they're going to scan your card, you're going to be charged for it, okay? It's not a free movie. And then they also have Skyride here. And these are all different based on the type of ship that you go on. See, we were on the Carnival Ecstasy. The Skyline was not on our ship. And they also have this little thing here. You can click on it to see which ship it's on. And you can see Carnival Horizon and Carnival Vista. And then coming soon to the Carnival Panorama. So if you want to know what ship it's available on, you can click over here. That's why I said it wasn't available on our ship. So this is all going to be different for each different cruise ship that you go on. But you can see down here it says included, okay? So that means you're not going to pay for it. You can go on it as many times as you want and you're not going to pay for it. You just got to look out for those little things like that because that can really add up to your price. So basically the onboard activities, everything that you can look at and check out here, it will be either covered or to be additional, okay? So let's say you want to do some dining, okay? That's free, right? You said it was covered. Yeah, I'm going to go to Guy's Burger Joint and I'm going to get me a burger. Go ahead. They're included. Get as many burgers as you want. You don't have to pay for them. But wait, maybe one night I think I want to go to the steakhouse and I'm going to go get me a nice steak. Sure, go there, but you're going to have to pay an additional price to go to the steakhouse. It's an additional $35 for adults. Kids menu is available for $10, and it's got the elegant cruise casual attire, which we can talk about a little bit later. But this is basically going into the cost as well, okay? So you can look at this and see, okay, I'm going to have to pay for food if I want different kinds of food. And then we're going to go to the shore excursions. We will actually talk about in that category. But basically the shore excursions that you pick will be a price that you'll have to pay for each one, okay? So that's definitely going to be different. And then like the staterooms and stuff, each room type is going to definitely be a little bit more pricey, okay? So if you go with a regular room versus a big room, that's going to raise the price as well. But that kind of goes into the other stuff that we were talking about. That goes into the price of the cruise. So the stateroom and that price that you see at the end for the cruise, that's covered. Okay, so they're not going to charge you double for your room. If they do, I would complain. But anyway, that is what we're going to look at there. We've done looked at that. We don't need to look at that anymore. So you kind of see what goes into the cruise and why it's not exactly what it seems, all right? You're going to have to pay for a lot more than you think. For us, personally, on our cruise, we decided that we weren't going to get a drink package. And that's obviously something else that you can look at too on the website. Carnival does this. I don't know if it's the same with every ship, but they have a drink package that you can purchase, and it's an additional price not covered by the cruise. And that means that you get your cruise price, but then additionally you can add so much to it if you would like a drink package. And that basically means you're going to get to buy alcohol and you're going to get to buy whatever drink you want that is not covered. Because of course your drinks are covered, but some of them aren't. And well, we're going to get into that, of course, when we talk about the food and stuff. But we decided not to get it. And that was something that I think was fine for us. It just depends on the difference in if you think you're going to drink a lot versus if you don't. For us, it was actually really good because we didn't need it. But I just looked and I noticed, every time he would order a drink that wasn't on the menu, or I would order a drink that wasn't covered on the menu, they would swipe that card and that would add up in the price. So let's go ahead though, now that we're talking about this, and about the cruise itself, let's actually look at the price of a Carnival cruise. Now, this is not my exact cruise price, okay? And we're going to kind of have to do it like this a little bit, okay? Because some of these are really weird. I just kind of cut them out of each of the websites and pasted them together so that they would look semi, I don't know, semi cohesive. Is that the right word? Basically, I wanted to show you guys everything that you're getting included and all this stuff for the price of the cruise without having to actually go through and do it on the internet, and we go through it and do it all. I went ahead and did it myself. It was a few days ago, so it actually wasn't too long ago, so the price should be still about the same, but I tried to do the same one as my cruise. So as you can see, I did a 5-day cruise to the Bahamas, and actually this one is on the Carnival Ecstasy as well, and it's close to the dates that I went on. This one's November 26th through December 1st. Mine was, I think, the 25th through the 30th, or the 31st, or something like that. So it's pretty similar there. The only difference on this one was, I think instead of going to Freeport, it's going to a different place. I couldn't find the exact one that I went on, and for the life of me, I cannot remember how much my cruise ended up costing, because it was something that I saw, I think on YouTube. I saw this like ad, and it said deposits as low as $99. I clicked on it, and I put in my information, and it said, I want to say it was around $989, and the deposit was $100. So the price is pretty much about the same as what I paid for mine. So this is basically my price that I ended up paying. It was somewhere around here. And this is actually the same time frame as well. It's August. I booked in August. We went on a cruise in November. This is in November. So I actually hit it pretty perfect with recording these. And so here is the actual price from Carnival. And this is going to be with an interior room. All of these are the lowest type of room that you can get, because that's what I did. So originally it was an interior room for me. And that's what I did when I booked. So that's what I did for you guys, so you could see the difference in the prices. So we have Carnivals, and then it also depends on the time of year that you book, of course. See, I had a deal where it was a $99 deposit. That was something that isn't available apparently this time when I went to go book again. So it's just going to vary, and it's going to depend on what time and when you book, and of course what time of year you go as well. So that is Carnival's price. Now let's look at a Royal Caribbean price. This is for a 4-night Bahamas cruise. I could not find a 5-night cruise on Royal Caribbean. It was only 4 or 6 or 7. I think 7 or 4 or 3, something like that. They didn't have 5-night cruises for Royal Caribbean for this time of the year for some reason, so I don't really know why, but anyway, you might be looking at this price and you might just be like, whoa, why didn't you go on Royal Caribbean? It was clearly cheaper, $200-300 cheaper. Honestly, like I said, I clicked on the ad and I went through Carnival. I didn't even know that there were other cruise lines. I've heard of other cruise lines, like for me, going on a cruise was never something that I thought about, ever. Okay, when I was little, there was 3 things that I said I would never do. I would get on a plane, get on a boat, or get on a train. Anything like that. Whether it be a cruise ship, or a little tiny pontoon boat, a train that goes just around the corner, or a long train that goes across the country, or a plane that flies me for 2 minutes versus 2 or 3 hours. I was not going to do it. I had a fear, and I did not want to do it. But there was something in me when I saw that ad. I was just like, this has to be perfect. This has to be the perfect timing that this popped up here for me. So I clicked on it. It just so happened to be Carnival, okay? And if we're looking at it you can see up at the top, the original price is $960. So since I said that number appeared in my head, 989 or something like that, it's basically about the same, okay? They're basically not that far apart. But yes, Royal Caribbean did have a little bit cheaper of a cruise. But you have to think about it this way too. It's a 4-night cruise, not a 5-night. Like on Carnival, it was only 4 nights. And it was a interior room. Okay, I said I was doing interior for all of them. But when we talk about staterooms, you're going to see here how the price is definitely going to change based on what kind of room you choose, alright? And you can also see down there on the guest pricing thing, they gave me a BOGO 50 instant savings thing. So that I got for booking a room at a certain time. I got an instant savings of $50. And then the BOGO thing, I think, was a no refund deposit. So that meant that you could book the cruise, but you didn't get a refund. So if you didn't make it to that cruise, then you definitely were out $860 plus the $200 deposit. Oh, and that's one thing that I should have mentioned as well on Carnival's pricing. Down at the bottom there, you can see it says add vacation protection for an average of $65 per person. Okay, so I didn't do that because I said when we went on this cruise, I was like, okay, if I click this button and we pay for this, we're going. Whether we get sick or we are just crawling to try to get to that port, we're getting on that ship and we're going on this cruise. Okay, so I didn't get the production program, but you can get it, and it's definitely going to have its perks. If you're going to do it like a year in advance and you don't know what's going to happen, then maybe it would be best for you to do it, because you can see down there it says it you can get fee waivering programs and all kinds of different things. I think they end up giving you back the money or something on it if it's within a certain time. I don't know exactly because I didn't read about it, because I didn't want the vacation protection. But it is something to think about if you would like to do that as well. And then also the add $129.50, I believe is what that says, for the prepaid gratuities. That's basically what you're going to tip all of the people that work for you while you're on the cruise. So don't feel like you have to give them tips, okay? I know that might seem rude to not give them any tips or anything, but that's what the gratuities are for. They're going to get their money, okay? So don't feel bad. If you want to tip them, go ahead. They don't mind it. But I'm just saying, if you add the gratuities on, you won't have to worry about that, because if you do like we did and you don't add the gratuities, then you're going to pay for it because they're going to charge you after the cruise. So either way, you're going to pay for the gratuities. You can just do it up front versus at the end of the cruise. It's your choice. But anyway, let's go ahead and check out something else. So this is a Norwegian cruise price, and I tried to get this basically as neat as I possibly could, because there was so much stuff on Norwegian, like so many pages of different things you had to read about. I didn't know what to keep and what not to keep, so I figured it was pretty important to keep all of this. But this is a 4-day Bahamas cruise, okay, with a free open bar. You can see it on the left side there underneath the picture of the ship. It's not 5, again, they didn't have a 5-day cruise within the time span, but it's a 4-day cruise, and it is same room, around the same time, November, and it also had the free at sea thing you can choose. Over on the other side there, it says you can choose up to 4 free offers: a specialty dining, a shore excursion, free Wi-Fi, or a free photo package. And that is what went into the cost as well. So that was something that they have offered right now. It could be different when you go to book, but it was around $1,145 for this cruise. And a lot of you might be thinking that's pretty high, but to me that's not bad, okay? Because it says free open bar there, and that's a big deal for some people. If you are able to get a free open bar on a ship, granted they might have restrictions and stuff, on that. I wasn't for sure. I didn't read about it because I think you have to book the cruise first before you could read about that stuff. And I think you can always call anyway. Any of these websites for these cruises, they're there to help you anytime you need it, I'm pretty sure. So if you need help and you want to understand it more, you can definitely call. That's what I did. I called Carnival probably 20 times before I went on my cruise. But free open bar, that's definitely important. And you can also choose a free offer, and that depends on the type of room that you choose as well. Since this was an interior room, I think the only thing you could choose was just one of those free extras. But if you did like a suite, you get to choose 3 of those things, or a balcony room, you get to choose 2. So you could get an open bar, but you can also get specialty dining as well as shore excursions that are free, or you could get free Wi-Fi and free photo package and a shore excursion based on, you know, whatever room you decide to choose. So really it's not that bad for a 4-day cruise. So you just gotta think about that, okay? But we're gonna get into some, and you're probably gonna be like, yeah, that's a pretty good price. So let's go to the next one, and this is Princess Cruise Lines. This is a 7-day cruise because Princess, I don't think they offer anything lower than a 7-day cruise, because I kept looking and I couldn't find anything lower. So I think there might have been a 6, but I don't remember for sure. But they did only do a 7-day cruise, so I just went ahead and clicked that one. And this was the price of theirs. Okay, so this to me is actually really, really not that bad. Okay, you're talking 7 days, not 5, 7. And I mean, this could end up being something where they're gonna have you be charged extra for certain things, or not. Don't know. Never been on a Princess cruise before. Didn't really know there was a Princess Cruise Line until I had looked up some videos on YouTube, and I saw some people saying they went on Princess and they had a better time versus a different cruise line. So, you know, it just depends. People have their opinions on which cruise line is their favorite. So I decided to search up Princess, and I saw that 7-day cruise from Florida round trip. The cruise total was only $1,222. And the guests were $600 a piece. The port fees, really, and all that stuff is where you get into where it becomes expensive. But other than that, I thought that was a really good price, because when you look on Royal Caribbean and Norwegian, as well as Carnival itself too, this is going to be a pretty close price range for 7-day cruises. Of course, they're going to vary. And yes, this is an interior room, I know. But some people like the interior rooms. We'll talk about the rooms, of course, later, but I didn't think it was a pretty bad price. Will I be going on a Princess cruise next time I go on a cruise? Probably not. I'll probably go Royal Caribbean based on the price that you guys saw earlier, so that's just me. But let's check out the last one, because you guys are going to really think that this is a good price once we get to the last one. So I couldn't think of any other ones, but then I thought of a major one that people were like probably thinking I missed out on and I forgot about. Didn't forget. So the last one we have here is a Disney cruise. Yes, a 4-night, very maritime Bahamian cruise on Disney. And Disney had a whole bunch of stuff on their page that they had to tell me about. So it's very small. And it's hard for me to read. Hopefully you can see it a little bit better than I can. But you can see that little number down there at the bottom, though, because I can see that clearly, even if it is small. Over $2,000 for a Disney cruise, and it's only 4 nights. I'm sorry, but that is ridiculous, okay? Ridiculous. Like, I get that some people love Disney, and they would rather choose Disney versus any other cruise line, but to me, that is just so expensive. Like, if I would have found a 7-day or a 6-day or even a 5-day on Disney, I can't imagine how much more it would cost. And this is just for 2 people, okay? This is not for 2 people plus 2 kids or anything like that, because that's where your price is really going to go up depending on the amount of people that you have on your cruise, okay? So I don't mean to bash Disney. I love Disney, but I cannot ever see a point where I think I'm ever going to go on a Disney cruise because I just can't afford it. It's way too much. And all that extra stuff that I told you about earlier that you're going to have to pay for, I'm pretty sure that's the same with Disney. Alright, so if you want alcohol or if you want extra stuff on the ship and you don't pay for it in advance, it's going to cost you a lot of money. And I've been told, well, not been told, well, yes and no. Okay, I talked to some family members that have been on a cruise, but I also saw some YouTube videos and read some comments and stuff. And a lot of people had said that if you want to go on a Disney cruise, go on it if you're a family. If you're not a family, probably not the best for you, because Disney is more oriented towards the kids, but they do say on their ships that they have everything from kids to teens to adults to seniors. They cater to everyone. And who knows, if I was to go on a Royal Caribbean cruise, a Carnival cruise, a Princess cruise, a Norwegian cruise, and then one time I'm just like, you know what, let's do it. Let's go on a Disney cruise. Let's see how much that is. And you know what, let's just see how it is. And we went on a Disney cruise and I enjoyed it more than the other ones, then I would probably eat my words. Because I'd be like, you know what, it's worth it. Alright, Disney's worth it. But I don't know, because I had never been on a Disney cruise before, so I'm just going from what I've heard from other people. So really, I can't say anything about it, other than it's the most expensive one out of all of these other prices. So it's your own thing, it's whatever you want to do, but I don't know, I just don't think I would do that. I really don't. So there we have it. There we have it. That is all of the cruise lines that I could think of. I'm sure there's plenty more. But that's something that I definitely have thought about and should have looked into a bit more than now that I think about it. Because there's so much that you don't realize goes into a cruise. And if you've never been on one before, it can be so, like, overwhelming. For me, Carnival did a pretty good job at helping me out with what is going to cost and what isn't, because they listed things on their menus that would cost extra. The planner that they put out for you every day in your room also had a little thing beside it saying, hey, this is free, hey, this is an additional price. And they also told me on the phone as well that the things that you book, this is going to cost this much, or this is going to cost this much, and you don't have to get it if you don't want to. So it's just different for everyone. But I think they did a pretty good job with that. And I think we ended up spending, I really don't want to give a exact number, but I think our whole trip ended up costing us probably around $2,000. And that's including driving down to the port, gas, food, also whatever we bought on the islands, or food that we got that was extra. Because if you go off on the islands, you gotta use real money. So we also bought some cash with us as well, which I would definitely recommend. They do have the ATMs, I believe, but I think there is a charge if you have to take money out of the ATMs. So I would really take some cash with you, or like a, what is it called, a money order or something like that. Just some different things that I think are very useful. A lot of people told me, I saw some videos as well, that take 2 credit cards with you. Take one credit card that you're going to use for your travel expenses, and one credit card that's used for like anything else. So for me, when we went on this cruise, I only had one credit card. So that's what I decided to take with me, and we only used the credit card for things that we had to, that the cruise ship was going to slide my card for. We didn't use it for anything else. If we needed anything else, like food on the islands or gas to get to the port, because we did drive down there, or hotel stays or anything like that on the way there and back, we paid for that with cash. I think we ended up bringing probably about $400 or $500 cash with us, and I think that pretty much worked out okay for us. Granted, we could have brought a little bit more money with us, but you know what? If we would have brought more money, we probably would have wanted to spend it. So I think limiting ourselves on the amount of money that we brought was actually smart in the end, because we're still actually paying off that credit card bill from that cruise. And I don't think it all is exactly from the cruise, okay? But when you get that final payment of how much things cost from the cruise, and then you go and you get that bill the next month afterwards, and it says everything that you were charged, it can be a little discouraging. But then if you use the card again when you're back home, it just keeps going up and up and up and not down. So yeah, definitely something that I will have to think about a lot next time. But I think I'm going to go ahead and end this one here. I think I've pretty much talked about everything there is to talk about price-wise. A lot of other things I can't really go into detail because they're in certain different sections. So the next video, of course, is going to be about the staterooms, and then we're going to do one about the food, the excursions, the entertainment, and the overall experience. So we're going to end up talking about all of it, so you do not have to worry. If there is something that I missed, then feel free to ask me about it. I'll try to answer it if I can down in the comments or wherever you need to ask me. But I am going to, I believe, go ahead and end this one off here, because if you can hear that construction in the background, then yeah, it's probably going to be getting a little annoying to you, because if it's annoying me, I know it's annoying you. So we're going to end it off here, but until next time, we're going to talk about our next little point in the next video. So I will see you guys whenever we continue our Carnival Cruise review.